recording. All right. So when you're making like the ads themselves, the first thing you want to think about is like it's an extension of the sales process. The way I look at ads is it's basically just sales on camera, right? So it's what your sales pitch is going to be when you're going after the client. So the first thing you need, and you're going to want to write this down, is a strong ad hook. Okay. So the strong ad hook needs to essentially demonstrate like who this is for and why I should listen to you. And this needs to come like in the first 5 seconds. Okay, so you can't waste that 5 second real estate space when you're building the ad. So you don't want to go like, hey everyone, this is because the clock is ticking, right? Hey everyone, this is Cole and I'm the CEO and the founder of, okay, now we're almost at 5 or 6 seconds. Skip ad, scroll past ad, not watching it, right? Instead, what you want to think about is the ad hook is the attention grabber, right? So like as soon as the video starts, it's like this sauna has helped people get 62% better health benefits and save thousands of dollars on their medical bills. And we're going to go ahead and show you why. Right. So that's an ad hook, right?
Yep.
So your goal is to think about what are the actual things that your target audience, what would attract them to go like, wait, what? For example, you talk about Huberman or Peter Tia or anything like that. You could try to utilize some of maybe the hot topics they're talking about and say like the one tip Peter Tia shares with everyone that people need to know before they do this, right?
You want to live better longer, right?
Yep.
Increase the quality of life. Yeah.
So that ad hook is everything. And the other thing you want to do is inside your ad hook, you want to address who the audience is. So like, let's say, like in business, right? Anytime I run an ad, I'll say something like attention business owners, Utah business owners, attention entrepreneurs, marketers, the first line, and then I give them the quick ad hook. But I have a mental timer of like, I have to get all of this done in 5 seconds, which is why in my ads, I'll talk really fast in the beginning to make sure I can condense it, right? Because the speed of what I'm saying can also be an ad hook. Like, wow, this is because it's a change of pace. They may have been watching or scrolling by something that's more kind of general. And then here comes someone that's very energetic. Hey, what's going on? It's me, Greg Marshall. Today we're going to talk about this. And they're like, whoa, why is this guy talking so fast? Right? That's an ad hook in itself. Another example of an ad hook, this is when you want to put your ad hook like on steroids, is you actually have a strong verbal ad hook while also having a physical ad hook. Like you're at one of the locations of one of your cold plunges or saunas, like at someone's house, and you're like, you say your ad hook, 61% of people can cure this by doing the sauna. And I'm here at one of our clients' houses with the sauna and cold plunge, and like someone's jumping in it or just getting out of it. That is also an ad hook because that physical image is quickly demonstrating who should watch it because it's showing, oh, that's a cold plunger sauna, and that's what I'm interested in. Make sense?
Yeah.
And then you
I
have
already have a good idea of that. Attention, Utah executives. If you ever find yourself delaying gratification for a more balanced life later, now is the time to add a wellness retreat to your backyard.
bingo, right? And here's how you put multiple versions of that. You take an ad hook like that, and then you chop it up into 3 or 4 more different versions where you switch maybe the image that they're seeing, the type of person that they're seeing, or you rearrange the words, or you chop some of the words out and replace them with something else. But that's how you take one ad hook and make different variations. Ad hook.
So, you said different variations is like change the person,
Yep. Change the person, change
or setting.
or the setting, right? Maybe it's in a backyard, maybe it's sunny outside, maybe it's at nighttime, maybe it's someone jumping in it. But you want to have different variations because different ad hooks will resonate with different people, and it'll also show the versatility of what you have to offer.
Yeah, because we could do like couples, a couple setting at night, like
Yep.
connecting in the sauna. Yeah, there that brings a lot of ideas.
So once you have the ad hook in place, which literally is like 90% of marketing, because think of it, if you can't get their attention, they never see the content,
Hmm.
right? And so
Hmm.
that's why you need to focus so much on that. But then the second step in the process. So you've got ad hook, and the second step is the actual content itself. Okay, so the content itself should be a level of education and entertainment or a combination of both, but it should have something in it where they could get some pieces of value out of it, right? So an example would be maybe there's one tip that you can give to someone of like why they should do the cold plunge or why they should do the cold plunge and the sauna or either or whatever, right? And you would think maybe the time of day, right? Like maybe every morning you should do this because it stimulates this, right? So you would go ad hook, valuable piece of content, showing them how they would use it. Because what that does is it helps them visualize themselves with your product. And then once you give them that valuable piece of content, they're thinking, wow, he stopped me in my tracks. Then I'm watching this. Hey, this is pretty cool. Like maybe I see someone who looks like me in this video doing something that I would most likely be interested in doing or improving. I think I want to go ahead and inquire more. I might click this link to go now, learn more about his website, learn more about what he has to offer.
Okay, I
Sense?
love that. And so after the valuable content, you give a tip. You said like,
Yep. So you go ad hook, then the content itself is like a valuable tip.
yeah, okay.
Okay. Okay. So that's step two. And then step three is, of course, the call to action. Okay. And
Increase the quality of your life by adding a wellness retreat to your backyard.
bingo. Right. Increase the quality of life and go even deeper than that. So you're saying increase the quality of life, literally show them and say, like, increase the quality of your life by doing this. Sit inside the cold plunge and maybe you're submerging for 5 seconds and get out and go, I see what that does is it helps stimulate the endorphins and kind of lowers your cortisol, helps you do this, helps you do that. And then they're seeing like, yeah, you know what, I need that. Lower stress. We found that this helps executives think clearly so that they can last longer while they're executing their business or their work, right? So you're giving them like a direct,
Prevent burnout.
yep,
Because bro,
yep,
you look at what we were talking about at the mastermind.
yeah.
Our clientele, 50, 55 years old that are kind of facing burnout right now and they're
Yep.
changing directions. So this
This
prevents burnout,
yep,
gives you
prevent
clarity.
bingo. Those are so you've got those hot words, right? So essentially what you're doing is that step two of the ad, you're talking about that. So you're giving them valuable piece of like showing them how to do it, right? So by you like getting in the cold plunge or getting in the sauna and filming it is giving them it's replacing the in like as if they were in person and you said, "Hey, John, sit down in here, go in there and then tell me how you feel." You're just replacing that with you doing it so that they can visually see themselves. Like, "Oh, that's how you do it." So this is because one of the objections or curiosities that people may have when they're looking at your product is like, "Okay, I've heard of cold plunge and sauna, but they don't know how would that be applicable to me?" That's the question you always have to answer in the
Mhm.
second step of the content is you got to show them how this is applicable to me so that they can literally go, "Oh wow, so you can just put this in your backyard and then like when I get up in the morning, I could just like go in there and get all these benefits and I don't even have to go to the gym or I don't have to sign up for another membership somewhere or pay someone else to do it or you know what I mean?" And it shows them how they would use it like You can use the setting of like, oh, well, maybe you're in bed, you wake up, first thing you do is you get up, you get into your clothes, you do the cold plunge, you're showing them like this is step by step how you would use it. Right. And then maybe another one valuable tip, show them like, maybe you're coming home from work, it's been a busy day, need a way to, to distress, to get yourself to relax. And then you show them how to use the sauna. Right. So these are just things that you want to show and make lots of content like this that you can add in your videos to show versatility of what your product does.
Hmm.
All right.
Yeah, I love that.
And then
That's
what you've got is then you go to step 3, which is the close, right? The close is in this instant when you're running ads, the close becomes the click. All right. So the close is you
click
got
the link below to
yep.
set up a free sauna consultation.
Yep. And so here's what you want to do. You want to make it to where the offer feels like irresistible. This is where the Alex Hormozy teachings of irresistible offers, you want to utilize that because he's very correct in the sense that you want to offer them something that sounds like, wow, I have to try this, right? So let's say I'm just making this up, but let's just say your offer is like, you'd want to make that call to action really strong. Like, click the link below to have me come to your house and give you a live demonstration on how to actually use this. 100% free, no strings attached, just so you can see for yourself if this is something you like to do. So click the link below and we can go ahead and get that scheduled. See, so what you're doing is you're selling the click, but with an offer that sounds exciting. You notice you even smiled when I said it. You're like, well, yeah, that might be a good offer. Like if you can think of an offer that someone would literally look at that and go like, that's incredible. I don't even need to drive somewhere. You're gonna come to me. Like that's the kind of offer you want to be trying to think about when you say click the link. Because what you don't want is deadbeat offers, right? Where it's like, hey, just click the link and visit my website.
Hmm.
And it's like, oh, well, everyone tells me to click the link and visit their website. You
Hmm.
you can make yourself different just by how you package the exact same offer, but say it differently,
Hmm.
right? So you want to practice how to reword, restructure your offers.
Just what? Just chat GPT?
Well, you can use ChatGPT to help you come up with some ideas, and then from there, just keep working through it and test different like what do people respond to, right? That's kind of the part of when you run ads is this is an opportunity to figure out what do people actually respond to, right?
Hmm.
What is the offer that makes people excited to do anything, to take an action? Because once you figure it out, then you use it over and over and over and over again,
Hmm.
right? And then that's where you can create your predictable ad system where it's like if I spend X amount of dollars and this many people see it, this many people will click on it. This many people that click on it will then take my offer. And then out of that many people, a certain amount of people close. And then that's where you make your advertising model is then that's how you can figure out for every dollar I spend, I get 3 closes or whatever that is, right? And
Hmm.
because you have a high ticket offer where it's not $2,000 or something like that, you have a lot of breathing room to figure out how to make that work,
Hmm.
right?
And because it's so niche, because of the nature of the business that it is, we also get very targeted in that way, huh?
Yep. And so that's what I'm saying is when you do your ad system, think of it as it's just leveraged sales. So it's
Hmm.
just like instead of you being face to face with someone and shaking their hand, you're using video as a way to reach more people faster with your sales pitch. So it's almost like an infomercial, right? That's the power of infomercials and TV commercials is it provides sales leverage,
Hmm.
allows you to get out to more people, so you don't technically have to like go door to door and knock and say, "Hey, I noticed you have a nice house. would you like a cold plunge in a sauna to put in your house? I mean, and you could arguably make that work as well, but it's just not as efficient.
Let's clip that up.
So I think what questions do you have when it comes to the actual um ad making process?
So I think it makes a lot of sense. I think the different variations is probably what's going to take the most time, it seems like.
Yep,
So maybe just, and that's from what I understand, that's part of the process as you're running ads
yep,
and just figuring out how to get more narrowed in and seeing that response from the market, right?
exactly. So my philosophy is the faster you want your results, the faster and more you should test.
Mm-hmm.
There's a correlation. So instead of making, like, here's a game that I'll play with myself that is kind of funny, which is I will actually play the game of how many tests can I run per week to figure out whatever it is that I'm trying to figure out. And I only measure how many tests I'm running. Does that make sense? So it simplifies
Mm-hmm.
it. So you're
Mm-hmm.
measuring the process, not the end result. Because if you think about it, a lot of people obsess about the end result. And
Mm-hmm.
then what do? They do nothing because they keep thinking, what is the simplest or the fastest activity that I can do to get this end result? And what that actually does is causes you to do nothing. It causes you to
And
animal.
always be reinventing and trying to, do it a new way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Versus just saying, let me just measure the process and let the data tell me what's the best way.
Yeah.
And let me remove the fear because usually what I find is perfectionists fall prey to this
Mm.
because they want everything to be so perfect that they believe that if they do the method of testing a lot, that somehow they're going to either make their company look bad or somehow it shows that their business is not valid or the whole world's going to know they have no idea what they're doing. Like, and those are false beliefs.
Mm.
Really what that is, if you boil it down to is it's a very sophisticated way of procrastinating of of avoiding any type of negative reaction. It's the fear of a negative reaction from the marketplace. If you can eliminate that thought and just think like, I'm going to run these tests because I value more figuring out what works for me and for my business than I do one person thinking, "Hey, I seen a bunch of different offers. I don't know what's going on here." Because that one person, essentially what I'm saying is I'm willing to lose that one sale to get thousands of sales.
I love that. That is so key to the marketing process because I've worked with people that they're creatives and they do video and they're used to creating content, but in that industry, they're such perfectionists
Yep,
because everything has to, be perfect. But that can conflict with the marketing side of things because it doesn't really involve like the whole testing
exactly.
and just gathering information because they wanted to make it look perfect the first time and
And
do this knockout of park, content where it's like, okay, like this is gonna be amazing. We're gonna show this and
yep,
that, where it's kind of like these more it doesn't take a big marketing budget to go out to a client, film a video with them doing the exercise that they're already doing every day.
exact. And that's the thing is, it's just a sophisticated way to procrastinate
Mhm.
to avoid potential criticism. That's what it is. It's a fear of being rejected, right?
Which if that's what you're dealing with, then look at other parts of your life that you're avoiding.
Bingo, bingo. Because you're gonna have to go through that rejection anyway. So why not just speed through it and figure out what works and play one of my favorite games I used to play with my sales, like when I would do sales training, right? With I was in the personal training business. What I would actually teach for people that were afraid to approach to ask someone, do they need personal training in the gym, was a game that I called the no game. Okay. And what I did was I flipped how you view no. See, because the reason why you're afraid to approach is because you're afraid to hear the scary words of no, because you look at that as it means you are bad,
Hmm.
right? That means you are a failure. It taps into your own insecurity,
Hmm.
but it's not real. It's just two letters. And so we would play the no game, which is here's how you make no fun. I would say, here's your goal. And I would tell the person that's going to go out and sell, here's your goal. Go out and try to have as many people tell you no as possible. Ask them, hey, do you want personal training? Do you want to sign up? Do you want to do this? And what that did was it gives them a positive association to getting told no, because I'm trying to get them to hear no as much as possible. So
Hmm.
therefore, what it does is it desensitizes you from hearing no. So then you no longer fear that because you're like, oh, it's not that bad. It's just kind of like a cold plunge. If you probably do it enough times, you kind of get more and more used to, okay, it's not going to like end my life here. It's just going to make me feel slightly uncomfortable, but I'll survive it.
Well, even a little bit deeper than that, if you look at the nervous system, right? I was given an example of this for a door-to-door organization. And I was like, you go up on the door, you knock on it, you hear a big dog barking and some gorilla wrestling in the back to the door. So whether you train yourself or whether you rationalize that you're not scared or not, your body is feeling that threat is coming your way. And
Exactly.
so it's teaching yourself that, hey, this isn't a threat. Let's calm down and breathe, because if you don't, the reaction is fight or flight.
Yep.
And so you're not going to be able to connect and, feel the energy in the conversation. And so yeah, it's just kind of teaching yourself to breathe through the
Yep.
stress, breathe through the threats that come.
And that's essentially what you want to do. You want to use that like in your marketing and your sales process, right? Is you want to play the no game. And here's the great thing that they would always figure out. Not only would they figure out it's not as scary, by switching how they were focusing, they actually started to get the appointments that they wanted by pretty much default. And it showed them, oh, all I have to do is put myself out there and ask. And if I don't get it the first time, it teaches me how to adjust my approach for the next time to get better. So all these no's are is just data for me to actually get better at what I'm doing.
And
Isn't
find
this
what people
exciting?
actually like. Yeah. Because we
Right?
think we know what people like.
You don't.
What you learn is that we're not very good at know what other people like.
We
So
not. And that's the thing is you turn the no game into an exciting experience, because then what you figure out is the more no's I'm getting is speeding up the yes, because I'm getting and iterating, becoming better each time, which means instead of me thinking about the perfect pitch and only trying that one time a day and then retreating back into my shell and trying it again 3 days later, and then now I've only done like 6 tests for the month. I did 45 tests in one day and figured out what worked. And now I get to start the success cycle. And
and this is what Alex Hormozy always talks about, right?
yep,
It's repetitions, just do the work. The reason why I'm good at what I do is because I do an unrealistic amount of practice.
yep,
I'm putting in 100 repetitions a day, and that's going back to the door-to-door knocking industry, something that you can get repetitions on sales calls to start to build those skills,
yep.
to start the conversations.
And so literally view running your ads just like that. Like I'm just running a bunch of tests. I'm not here to make the perfect ad right out the gate. I'm here to hurry up and get data so that I can quickly start the success cycle. That's my goal. And what I understand about that is I will have to go through a period of no's to get to the yeses. But once you get to the yeses and you know exactly what to say to get the yes, it feels you forget about the thousand no's you got before that. And it almost like erases from your memory. And you
Mhm.
almost can think that you started from the success because you're getting so many of them after that. Does that make sense?
Oh
So
yeah.
you view the ads, view the sales process, all of that. And then to really make your ads really hit. Think about when you're out doing sales calls or with clients, you want to get a lot of data collection as you're meeting with them. You want to ask them, hey, you know what? If you don't mind me asking, why did you decide to get this? What's your experience? Like, why did you buy from me instead of the other company? Why did you do this? Why did you do that? How is it making you feel? And start asking these questions and take notes on your phone because you want to use those for ads because you want to find more people that have that exact same desire. So that when you make your ad, you're like, oh, it sounds like after interviewing 10 of my clients, they all keep using this one word. So my next round of ads, I'm going to build it around that one word and see how that response is. So use real-time data with your clients who have paid you already to figure out and help you make your next round of ads so you can find more people that are already paying you.
Hmm. I love that, dude. That's awesome.
So I think, for today, I think let's kind of start to finish with this. Make your ads and come up with 10, just for the sake of volume, 10 ad hooks, okay? 10 tips that would go in stage 2. So 10 tips for step 1, 10 tips for step 2, which is the content, and then 10 offers, okay? And come up with those 10. And then your goal is to then start saying, okay, what content do we already have that I can start making these videos and these marketing materials to start the testing phase, right? So
Mhm.
now you want to start creating this stuff and getting in the rhythm of running tests and thinking, okay, what about this ad hook? What about that one? Start studying what other things that capture your attention, right? Look at Peter Attia, look at Huberman, look at their thumbnails on their YouTube videos, look at what they're saying, look at how they start their videos because the reason why they're that big is they're tremendous marketers, right? And they have a formula that they're using to get people to even watch their stuff. Because there's people before these guys that have the same or similar philosophies that were never able to get it to the marketplace because they do not know how to do the ad hook to even get people to consume the content.
Hmm. I love that. Yeah, Andrew Huberman, those guys, they're sharp.
Yep.
They're sharp at it.
They're great marketers and they know what they're doing, they know how to do it, and that's why they're growing so much.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll fill out my YouTube list of videos. I